Better than 30 years on the job as the head coach at Bentley, Jay Lawson joins us in 2023. His team has picked preseason atop the men's basketball poll. So, for starters, Jay, I know polls are polls, and it's just things that we like to talk about. And internally, I'm sure it is not that big of a deal for you guys, but it does mean that there's a level of expectation on the outside of your program. On the inside of your program, what's the expectation heading into the season?
Quite frankly, it's too early right now. We have a lot of questions, probably more questions than we had in a long time. We kind of just laughed at that poll pick. We lost three outstanding players from last year's team, and we're still just trying to get to the point of figuring out which people can be the answers and which answers still exist. So, it's always nice, I guess, from tradition to be picked, but we were totally shocked to be in first, to be honest with you.
What's that evaluation process like as a coaching staff and as a program when you take a step back and say, all right, three double figure scores, three starters that we have to replace. But there's no free agency. Like you're looking from within to see who can step up, take bigger roles, shift around. What's an off season like for you as a basketball coach at Division II?
Yeah, I think you're always thinking about things and you have an idea of what might be the answers. But when you lose significant people, there's just no way around it. I think that's why the polls are almost humorous. I think all the coaches in our league would agree with that because probably a lot of us don't even know what the other teams have with the transfer portal and everything else right now. So, but in regards to your question, yeah, we just try to figure it out. We're in the early parts of practice. We haven't even had a scrimmage yet. And in a matter of a couple of weeks, it'll be on to the games and everything else. So we don't have a lot of time, but we still need to figure things out, just like everybody else.
Let's talk about the knowns for you, though. Chief amongst them is the returning player of the year in Zach Laput. What makes him special?
That's a good question. Starting with his work ethic. Zach's a really unique, driven, motivated person. We've had a lot of really good people like that in our program over the years, but I wouldn't say anybody to the degree of Zach. So not only is a talented person, but he's highly driven to reach his full potential. And that's a great example for everybody in the program. When you look at someone like that and what he's accomplished, if you're a teammate, you probably start thinking maybe I should do what Zach does. So I think it's helped everybody in some ways.
Do you remember the first time you saw him and when he came on your radar?
It was a weird year. It was the pandemic year. We got to see him some live before we were all shut down that year. His first year in the program was no games, and everyone had a mask on every single day. And quite frankly, Zach struggled that year. And there's no way you could have predicted that he would have gone from that to what he has become. So, again, it's a tribute to him and the way he approaches things.
What's it about his skill set? Like there aren't many players that are going to shoot 40% from three, pull in better than 7 rebounds and average 3 assists. Like that's a very diverse ability. What about him allows that to happen beyond work ethic and want to?
Yeah, he can score in every possible way. So he can score in transition. He draws fouls. He makes free throws. He's a 50, 40, 80 guy both years so far. So 50 from the field, 40 from three, and 80 something from the foul line. There's just not a lot of kids who can do that to the degree of production like he has done. So he can really shoot. He can post you up. He can drive. He can finish, ambidextrous ability. So there's a lot of skills that he has. And I think we're just trying to get him to go to the next level with the whole package and become a complete offensive player more and more every year. And part of that is, look, you scored so well, you're going to draw a lot of attention. Can you now make the right quick decision to make as many plays for other people as you do for yourself? And he's becoming much better at that.
He's got a great piece coming back with him as well. Same question or same line of questioning for Aaron. What is it about him that's allowed him to flourish at this point in his career?
Yeah, Aaron's got some special qualities also. It's his focus, his leadership, his motor. He doesn't get tired at all. We played him all 40 minutes a few times last year. And, if you look at him, he's on the lean side and doesn't match up body wise with a lot of people in this league. But what's inside of him, his intelligence, his awareness, his leadership skills, and he's also very skilled as well. So he's competitive, and that's really what both of those two guys are. The two returning answers we have in those two are highly competitive and consistent every day. And, that's a good start for any team to have a couple of guys like that.
We started this conversation by basically saying, you don't know what you have yet, and nobody knows what anybody has. But the known factor is that you guys have been to the NCAA tournament and made deep runs each of the last 2 years. And I feel like oftentimes success breeds success. You get more time to practice, you get more time or experience being in and around higher pressure games late in the season. What does the fact that your team has done what it's done over the last 2 years do to help people moving forward, even if they weren't major contributors on those squads?
Yeah, that can work both ways. I would say we have 11 people returning, but the two that you already asked me about are really the only two that have played a big role. And, any team, the five guys who play major minutes have to be answers, and you've got to figure out who those people are going to be. And then you have to figure out who your bench is going to be to balance out your whole rotation on game day. So that's the questions that we have. We think we're in a good place starting to figure that out, but you still don't know that until people actually do it for the first time in their careers. And that's kind of what we have, is we have to figure out who the other three people on the floor are with them. And, we have a few weeks to do it.
Have there been times in the course of your career where you go into a season with a lot of questions, and I'm sure in the back of your mind, you're thinking, all right, like, I think these are going to be the people that step up. And then somebody from complete left field comes out of the woodwork and winds up being that guy for you?
Yeah, you hope to not have to deal with that a lot, but yep, that happens for sure. And that's a positive, that somebody maybe just needed a little bit more time to figure things out, or they get an opportunity. I've seen it happen when someone gets injured and they have to be used and get that opportunity. That happened with Zach when he was a first-year player. Someone got hurt for 9 games, and he's been in the lineup ever since.
Jay, I appreciate the time. I know it's still very early. You still have a lot of questions to answer, but looking forward to seeing what Bentley puts together this year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.